Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are cracking open one of the most eye-opening finance books ever written, The Millionaire Next Door. Get ready, because what we're about to uncover might just flip everything you think you know about wealth completely upside down.
So let's just start with this one question. I want you to picture a millionaire. Go ahead, what do you see? Is it a flashy sports car? A sprawling mansion? Some ridiculously expensive watch? Well, what if I told you that entire image is basically a myth?
Okay, let's get right into it. For as long as we can remember, the media, advertising, they've sold us this very specific, very glamorous idea of what it means to be rich. It's this lifestyle of nonstop spending where your success is basically measured by the stuff you buy.
You know, there's this great old Texan saying that just perfectly sums up the book's main idea. Big hat, no cattle. It's all about the massive, and I mean massive, difference between looking rich and actually being rich. A lot of people have the big hat, but behind the scenes, there's just no cattle. And this right here just lays it all out. The research in the book found that the flashy, high-spending stereotype is pretty much the exact opposite of how real millionaires actually live their lives. They're not zipping around in new imported luxury cars, they're driving something like a Ford. They're not wearing fancy designer suits, they're buying them off the rack.
So, if they're not living these huge, lavish lifestyles, what does the data actually tell us about the real millionaire who might be living right next door? Honestly, the answers are pretty shocking.
Let's start with what they wear. The researchers asked them, what's the most you've ever paid for a suit? And for half of all the millionaires they talked to, the answer was never more than $399. A quarter of them had never even spent more than $285.
And shoes? It gets even more surprising. The typical millionaire has never spent more than $140 on a single pair. I mean, think about it. That's less than what a lot of us spend on a pair of running shoes these days.
And yeah, you can forget the Rolex. Half of the millionaires in the study had never paid more than $235 for a watch. In fact, their most popular brands were things like Seiko and Timex. Now here's the really crucial point. We're not talking about old money here. These aren't people who inherited their wealth. The huge majority of millionaires in America are just ordinary folks who built it all themselves in one single generation. And often, they did it in what you might call dull businesses, like welding or pest control. And you know, nothing shows this mindset better than where they shop. Just look at this. Millionaire households are way more likely to have a Sears card in their wallet than a card from some luxury store like Saks Fifth Avenue. It's all about value, not about status.
All right, let's shift gears and talk about a really core concept from the book, because this is where it all starts to click. We're talking about the huge, often misunderstood difference between your income and your wealth.
See, the book makes this brilliant point that wealth isn't what you earn, it's what you keep. So many people make a high income, but they have almost no wealth to show for it because they're stuck on this treadmill of just earning and spending. Real wealth is what you manage to hang on to and invest, not what you spend.
Okay, this is a super simple but really powerful little tool from the book. You can do this right now. Just take your age, multiply it by your pre-tax annual income, and then divide the whole thing by 10. This number gives you a rough idea of where you should be, financially speaking.
So, using that little formula, you can see where you land. Are you a prodigious accumulator of wealth, a PAW, someone with double your expected net worth? Or are you an underaccumulator of wealth, a UAW, with less than half? PAWs, you see, are masters of financial defense. UAWs, well, they're masters of spending.
So what's the blueprint then? What are the real, actual habits that can turn someone into one of these prodigious accumulators of wealth? Well, the book boils it all down to 7 key factors.
And the book couldn't be clearer about this. The foundation of building wealth isn't finding some hot stock tip or landing a 6-figure job. It's defense. It's all about controlling your spending through really diligent budgeting and planning. So what does playing great defense actually look like? Well, it means you run your household like a business. You have a budget, you track your expenses, you set clear goals, and, this is so important, you actually set aside time every single month to plan your financial future. On average, millionaires spend almost twice as many hours a month doing this as underaccumulators do.
So all the research comes together in these 7 common factors. The first 3 are really the foundation. They live well below their means. They're super efficient with their time, energy, and money. And they believe that being financially independent is way more important than showing off their social status. Then the next 2 are all about family, and this is fascinating. Their parents didn't give them endless financial handouts, what the book calls economic outpatient care. And because of that, they raise their own kids to be financially self-sufficient, breaking that cycle of dependency. And finally, they're smart about their careers. They know how to spot opportunities, and they chose the right line of work that let them build wealth over time.
All right, let's bring it all home. We've busted the myths, we've looked at the blueprint, but the single biggest takeaway here isn't a tactic. It's really a total shift in how you look at things.
It all comes down to this one simple but really powerful question. You can spend your income today to look like you have a high social status, or you can invest that income to actually achieve financial independence down the road. The research is pretty clear. It's almost impossible to do both.
And that right there is the core belief. It's the engine that drives every single habit of the millionaire next door. It's making a conscious choice to value your freedom over stuff and your security over status. It's a powerful idea. And according to decades of research, it is the real secret to building wealth that lasts.